Oh.
Okay. Hi. Hopefully you guys enjoyed staring at nothing. And just watching our mouse moves and not hearing us. Okay. Let's try again. And take 2.
Hi, I'm Laura,
And I'm Jessica,
and welcome to No Man, No
a
Meds.
podcast about international teaching, travel, and life.
I'm a music teacher in Shenzhen, China.
And I am a music teacher in Panama City, Panama.
And this season, we're gonna be live, but you can always catch us on YouTube later, so it'll upload as soon as we're done.
And if you would subscribe, we would appreciate it. That way, you'll get alerted when we go live. And like Laura mentioned, you can also see our videos all later.
And if you haven't yet, don't forget to check out our Instagram and follow us at Nomads Podcast.
Last time we talked about our beach vacations.
Yes. And today we're talking about many things, mainly our last vacations that we took before COVID.
Yeah. And some fun new segments, hopefully.
Yeah. We're getting into it more. Let's do it. Jessica, we have now our first segment, Teachable Moment of the Week.
Yeah.
And you can lead it off with yours.
Yeah. Hold up. I'm gonna try to look at us. Hold on 1 second. Boom. Now we have a bang. There's a thing there. Teachable moment. Dink. Okay. So, we'll talk a little bit about this because we're gonna just dive into um a couple of recent like updates. I know I feel like literally every video is an update, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. But we went back. Well, we have started to see some kids for some amount of time in the classroom this past week. So, man, I guess my like teachable moment is just like you forget like because I had been not in a classroom with students in front of me in literally a year, right? So I kind of forget how long it takes to do things, right?
Yeah.
um and like the internet was having problems. So it's more of like a reminder to myself. I already knew this, but it's like just to have like backup plans and stuff, right? In case the internet doesn't work, like have like I don't know, a little game or something because we were trying to log on to this one website that was just not having it. So if I just like and I have like an arsenal of games that like some of them my kids know that we could have pulled out. But like I said, it's just like a reminder to me to have like the backup plans, right? Especially in these unpredictable moments.
Yeah. Even though we're using technology more, it doesn't mean that it's more reliable.
Right, right. And like it had, the the school campus is not used to every single kid that's there like having their computer on, which it was
Yeah.
by no means every single kid. It's the kids, it's opt in. So I want to say, I don't know, maybe a third to half of the kids, I don't know the exact numbers,
Yeah.
opted into this program, and then they are also split in half. So it's
Hmm.
really like a small portion of our students. But even so, it's like, normally like school infrastructure is used to like the teachers logging on and maybe a couple classrooms of kids. But now
Hmm.
it's like every single person on campus is on and in a meet and has 10 tabs open and
Yeah.
y- yeah, yeah, yeah. So like the meet was working, right? But I just like the website we were trying to get to was not. So yeah. Just having a backup plan is my thing.
Definitely.
All right, go for it, Laura. Teach us.
Okay. Well, actually, my teachable moment is also somewhat related to technology. So I had planned to do an iPad band for this one outcome that isn't really related to anything else in the unit. So I'm like, we'll just do one day of iPad band and then move on with our lives so we can like get moving through stuff. So anyway, and it was also the day of my observation with admin. So I always like to like choose my most poorly behaved class and also plan like a crazy lesson because I want to get the most possible feedback. And like they've seen me teaching other times, so they know like what I am capable of. But especially when like an admin's going to be there, I want to just like do crazy stuff. But anyway, that's not related really because my teachable moment is about the student. It is, but
let, let me tell you this story. It's not related at all. Okay, okay.
I'm setting the scene of like me being a little bit like nervous and stressed. And then I realized so like with iPad Band, you give every kid an iPad and then they all go on to GarageBand. And I'm realizing in the moment that they've probably never been on GarageBand. So they're like super excited to try everything and just like mainly go to the drum machine and start every single drum playing at the same time. And then so I'm like, okay, like let's get together. We have like specific things that we need to do. And like all of my call ins were not really working. And then I'm like, duh, why aren't they working? When you give 20 kids their own iPads in this day and age, they're not going to listen to you. So that was my
Right.
thing is,
Oh no. I think your internet cut out. That's deep. Hopefully, it comes back. I'm gonna shoot her a message. Um, Speaking of like both of our teachable moments were about right technology. Hi, you're back. You cut out for
yes,
a little bit.
okay.
And I was just about to talk to our beautiful two viewers and say, it's funny how I just talked about how we should have a backup plan about internet and then look at me here. We didn't have a backup plan about if one of our
Well, that
internets dies, right?
was my connection, yeah. So, technology, that's what we learned about.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, it kind of reminded me, right? Like we know as like music teachers, when you give like the kids an instrument, right? It's like that.
Yeah,
Whether it's
yeah,
like in elementary and you're handing out drums or like actual like wind
yeah,
instruments, whatever. So it's kind of funny that like, you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily think about it as much when you're giving them like an
yeah,
iPad instrument.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna jump into our other segment.
Let's do it.
Okay, let me switch. Look at us. We're pros. So y'all watching, look at these beautiful little graphics we have now up in the
Yes.
middle. Uh you wanna go first?
Sure.
I can
Yes.
drag
So,
your picture on.
okay.
There.
So our next segment is show and tell, which may devolve into different kinds of show and tell, but right now it's crafts because a lot of us are doing like different hobbies and stuff because of lockdown, quarantine, all of that stuff. So anyway, you're going to be seeing a picture of a Chinese seal that I'm working on engraving. It takes a really long time, but I do want to try and finish it before the end of the year. And so we had like professional development probably like a month ago now. Actually, it was in January. Um, and so there was one session for the day where we got to pick something related to Chinese culture and learn about it, kind of as like a relaxing time and for the local staff to share their culture and their passions with us. And also, it was pretty close to Chinese New Year. So, for people to learn about that. So I chose this one that was tea, calligraphy style painting, and then also seal making. And I wasn't even super interested in the seal making when I signed up for it. But then when I saw it and like understood what it was, that's what I spent most of my time doing for that session. So yeah, you just pick like something you want on your seal in Chinese, or it can be in English, or it can be a picture or whatever. And then you work on scraping it off with like a little X-Acto knife type thing. And then eventually you can dip it into ink and then put it on paper like a stamp. So
That's
it was
really
cool.
cool. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done calligraphy, but I bought one of those stamps. Don't ask me where in the world it is. I don't know. When I was there, I think I gave it as a gift to my brother. Don't quote me, but
Cool.
I did to get to do that. That's really neat. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, I'm just dragging stuff around. I need to drag my picture on screen now. Boom. There it is. Okay. Um, so for me, like this was the last time we were live, right? I mentioned I had started doing some acrylic painting, right, during the quarantine here. Like I've done a little bit, but really dived into it. And then I say that now, and I don't think I've done a painting since the last time we went live. But I was really consistently like painting at minimum like one thing a week. So this is one of my recent ones. It's a cute little sloth because we're in Panama, right? Or I'm in Panama, and we got sloths. So yeah, I guess I don't have like a super long story. I just wanted to show off my sweet little baby sloth princess with its flower crown and all. Um,
She is this
yeah.
one that you did with friends, or you just did it on your own?
No, this one I did with two of my friends from here. Yeah.
Okay.
So it started like with the three of us doing this. I think we did it maybe on Christmas Day or New Year's Day or something. Like we did the first one during lockdown, and then I've also done some with some friends back from Minnesota too. But this one is one I did from people from here because, like I said, sloth. We're in Panama, so we needed to paint a sloth. So there's the sweet sloth baby. Yeah.
He's
Well,
cute,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's that.
But you haven't seen sloths yet, right? Like not in person.
No, I haven't. Oh man.
Sorry to bring up this.
I'm telling you, it's a sore spot for me. It really is. I wanna see my sloth. All right. Well, there's show and tell. Thank you for gathering around the carpet in a circle, children, and
Yes.
sharing with us. Okay, I guess we'll get into some like more recent updates. I know,
Yeah.
again, always updating.
I
We'll get into some more recent stuff.
Yeah, so it's like pretty rare that I would have anything really to share because usually I'm just teaching unless there's like a vacation time. And now we're not even really going on trips. Well, I won't be going on any more trips for this year, I don't think. But I did go on a weekend trip last weekend because it was one of my friend's birthdays, and I met her when we went to the beach over Christmas. And she works at a basis school, but it's not in Shenzhen; it's in another city. So it was like I think a 2 hour taxi, or you can take a bus. So I went up with one friend, and it was just nice to like go to a smaller city, and like there was still some Western stuff, but also a lot of Russian stuff. And it's a beach town because it's right on the coast. So we went to the beach, we walked on it. It's not warm,
Wait,
it was cloudy.
wait. You said there's Russian stuff?
There's Russian stuff, yeah, because there's a lot of Ukrainians and Russians that have come to this area of China for some reason. I don't really know the history of it, but apparently, even in my city, there's like some districts that have like the buildings are have like Cyrillic signs, and there's Russian food, and so I was like excited about that, but I didn't get
Did
to.
you break out your Russian? Just choot choot,
No, and
Paruski?
I was so excited. I was gonna order pierogies and ask if there was kartoshka in them, but no, we didn't have time because I went up on Saturday, and then her birthday dinner was that night, and then we were going back Sunday, like afternoon, and we didn't want to get back super late because of school the next day. So we didn't really have time to like stop and do anything extra, but I would go back again for sure because it was just really relaxing and less crowded than where I am.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I
Yeah.
would have never thought. I mean, like I know, like China's huge, and especially in like Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, whatever, you would expect there to be like, populations of basically everywhere, everyone from the
Yeah.
world, but like where you are, that's really interesting.
Yeah, there's always like different concentrations of people like immigrating, and you never know what it's going to be till you get there. So I was like so happy that it was Russian. I'm like, oh, I could actually like, I don't know, do something with that someday.
Yeah, I'm just barely starting to get over my like instinctual wanting to speak Russian to people here, because that's what I've dealt with for 3 years. So somebody speaks to me in a language I don't fully understand. I'm like, I want to talk Russian to you.
Yeah. I almost feel like I'm getting better at Russian because I am always thinking of it for what to say back to someone, but I'm not actually saying it because I know they
Yeah, I don't think I've actually done it, but I've almost spoken Russian to some people here.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I just realized. Okay. Anything else about your trip before I just start to ramble?
No, it was nice, and 10 out of 10 would go back.
That's cool. Yeah, like I said, that sounds like interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
As I was just talking, I remembered something else recent that's exciting. Um, so I guess two things. One is outside of school and one is the school thing. So I'll talk about that in a second. But um on Friday, I got my Panamanian driver's license, which y'all,
Yay!
I took an eye test. I did the hearing thing. Oh my goodness, I had to get a blood test before I
What?
went. Yes,
Oh,
because it honestly, I actually think it makes sense, right? Because like if you're getting your driver's license and it says you're a donor and it or whatever, you get in an accident or you get in an accident and need blood,
yeah.
they can like put your blood type on your driver's license. Like that
Ah,
makes so much sense. Like so
yeah,
actually, I mean it was weird and like I had to just drive myself to a random like sort of like minute clinic type thing and
okay.
go get a blood test. But, like, it makes sense. So I have as far as I know, I am set with my residency other than, like, renewing. So I have, like, a temporary residency until I get the permanent one and a temporary driver's license. So the only thing that I have left to do is renew those 2 things before I leave for the summer.
Mhm.
But I have everything. Like, I have my residency temporary residency card, temporary driver's license. Like I am a legal driver
Yay.
in Panama. Um,
Yeah.
oh, also me talking makes it sound like I was like illegal, but no, you can use like your foreign license for 3 months. So I was driving with my US license, but since I've been here now more than that, um I needed to get I needed to get the Panamanian one. So
Mhm.
that's I guess my big thing. Personal outside of school. But we did
Mhm.
also, like I said, we started to see some students in person this week. So yeah, it was a whirlwind. Like of course like I was nervous and stressed and busy.
Mhm.
But it was like really good to see kids. One of my classes, like the max we can have in a room at a time, one of my like days of these kids, I have 10. So I had all like, and it was like, I mean, first of all, like it's virus time. So again, like maybe I shouldn't be happy that I had a full class, but like it feels more normal, right? Other than that, like the other, like what, 13 kids in my class. This class is like 22, 23 kids. Like, the other half of the class is, like, on my computer, and these kids are in front of
Yeah.
me on their computer in this call. But it was cool to, like, I don't know, have commotion and stuff, and you get to, like, bond with the kids again, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm, like, pretty good at building the relationships online. I try to make an effort to do that, but um, it's not the same as, somebody doing like, some kid, like, dropped his laptop on the floor and, like, it's not the same as, like, poking fun at them, like, in person.
Yeah.
I called one of my kids chaotic energy child. So, I think that's gonna be a running nickname for him the rest of the year. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's good to see people. And then they can't play or sing instruments yet, wind instruments, but I do teach strings. So I got to hear like some of my kids play in person. So it was like nice to, I don't know. It's not normal by any means, but it's nice to like hear music being played by kids in a
Yeah.
music room. Like, so yeah, it was all in all a good week.
You feel
Oh,
more like a music teacher again?
no, I don't because because now when I'm at person with my like vocal classes, we can't sing.
Oh, right.
So like there's some weird stuff. Like I mean, there's a lot of positives. Like I said, it's good to see them. I also
Yeah.
just realized this week too because I didn't have my driver's license. I got to drive in a school bus with some of my fellow teachers to school. Um which that was also good to because otherwise I wouldn't see them, right? I would get to school and I would
Yeah.
go straight into my room. So it's a
Mhm.
group of other new teachers. So it was good to see them like every day too. But now I'm driving myself so I can get a few extra minutes of sleep and not on the bus.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, my mother. Hi, mom. What adjustments did I need to make to my classroom teaching plan? All of it. like, I know I can't really tell you like specific things, but really, it's like honestly, I have had to, for the most part, basically do everything different
Yeah.
for depending on the class, right? Some
Yeah.
of them I'm continuing on relatively similarly, like my general music classes and my like strings class as normal as I can. But like my vocal kids will be diving into theory. I think I'm going to put them in like partners. Um, so they'll like sing for each other when they're at home to the person in class and like give feedback. I think I'm gonna do something like that with them. But yeah, no, like everything's different. And it's like been a year of like constant everything different. Laura, how is it for you? Like you're just straight up normal life.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
like
crazy to
it's
me.
yeah, they're singing, playing instruments. we still obviously we have to sanitize the shared instruments like recorders. We have to spray those down after each class and like make sure the mouthpiece is super super clean. But like I mean, there it's even like the kids can choose if they want to wear masks in class, and my class is one of the only ones where kids will choose to because singing is still like one of the most dangerous activities you can do right now.
Yeah.
So, but they don't have to. They can choose if they want to. Each family, they're telling their kids what they want them to do and what they're comfortable with. So, yeah.
Yeah. I assume you wear a mask though.
No, the teachers don't wear masks. I mean, we can. I don't wear a mask though.
That's so crazy. I like that's crazy to me. But I get it. Like China did their harsh lockdown and they
Yeah.
moved past it, right? I like get it. But it's
Yeah.
like such a weird concept. Like I don't even know when like the world is gonna be normal in Panama or the US, right? This is
Yeah.
gonna have repercussions for years.
Yeah.
So
And
that's crazy.
I did wear a mask for like 2 days when I was feeling sick and like I think, it's just like a cold or whatever and it went
Right.
away.
But
But like
still.
stuff like that, I hope people will do that in the future forever. Like if you're
Well,
sick, just come to school and or wear a mask.
see, that's a thing like that like Korea and like Japan, like they already were on their game for that. Like they already do
Yeah.
that. I think I mean, I don't know about the US. Um, but I think maybe something like that is going to become more standard like, you know what I mean? Just for people
Yeah.
to do be like, I don't feel that well, so I'm going to wear a mask. I remember we went on choir tour in college, and Laura, other Laura, not you, our other friend Laura, had like a cold, so she bought the disposable masks and was wearing
Yeah.
it on the bus, and like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like at the moment, it felt so weird, but now like looking back on it, she's ahead of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, the last thing that we're going to talk about today is our, because, COVID times, reflecting back on our last vacations before we went into our lockdowns, which for me, I mean, I traveled within Panama, right? And you traveled within China, but our last like international trips, like leaving the country that we're living in, for me,
Mhm.
mine was all the way back in October 2019. So it's been like
Mine
a
was too.
year and a half.
Yeah.
I was so close to that spring break, man. Um,
I know.
but I did not get that. That's okay. All right. You wanna take it away?
Sure. So I went back to all my old pictures on Google Photos because I wanted to like remember the names of places and stuff. Because so many times I'm sure like people are listening to this, and if they are going to the same place, they want to like know what I'm talking about. So I went to London, which is a very popular destination. So I definitely
Never heard
wanted to
of
get.
it.
Yeah, and I went with my friend Debbie, and I was super excited because I really like her, and I traveled with her like a little bit before, but I thought she was like the perfect person to go on this trip with because one of the biggest things that I did was I went to two musicals, and she's also a big musical theater fan, so it was great.
Which ones?
And
What'd you see?
yes, we went to Wicked, which was the most expensive thing I did on the whole trip, but we were sitting fourth row and it was amazing
Oh my
and I
gosh.
loved it. And yeah, like it's definitely cheaper than it would be to have the same seat in like New York or something, but it's literally probably the same quality of acting and singing. Like it was
Right.
perfect. That's something that like I know all the songs, I know the general story, I know what to expect.
Mhm.
And it was amazing and I loved it. And then the other one we went to was The Waitress. We didn't have as good of seats for that. We were in the balcony, but I wanted to go to a second show, and I had really been wanting to see The Waitress for a while.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish I'd gotten a better seat because it was so hard to see like what was happening on stage other than just shapes. So we had those like little binocular things that you can borrow, and like we looked at them for like a little bit, and it was a waste of time. So mainly we just enjoyed the music, and then they sold little pies because the Waitress is
Yeah.
a pie or like a diner or whatever. They
Yeah.
sold little pies, and I had an apple pie in the intermission, and it was delicious.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I've seen both of them. Not in London, but elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The second most expensive thing I did, since we started off there,
This is
and
how
my
we're going through
brain
the trip.
is still hurting, yep,
Okay.
was going to Warner Brothers Studio, where you can see all the Harry Potter artifacts, sets, makeup. Like, they literally saved every single thing from every movie, except for, like, a couple of things that I guess the cast wanted to keep. But it's a bit. I think it was like a 45-minute bus ride outside of London, but it was super organized and kind of like Disney, where you know exactly what to expect. You go in one door, you come out the other. You're able to see everything and go at your own pace, take pictures, like do whatever you want. So that
Did
was great.
you book that before you went, I assume?
Yes. Those were
Yeah.
the 3 things I booked before I went.
Yeah. I think I told you about this, but like we went, my mom, my brother, his girlfriend, and myself. We went, and we did not book it ahead of time. So that's like the one thing I really, really wish that I did in London. And
Yeah,
I mean, next time I go, because there will be a next time.
yeah,
That's like number one. As soon as I have my dates, I'm booking that.
yeah. It's apparently also something that people go to several times. Like, I don't know if tourists or just people that live in the UK, but we were talking to like a couple families near us in line, and they were like, "Oh, this is my second time. This is my third time," and it's kind of expensive. So I was like, I can't believe you would go knowing you're gonna have pretty much the same experience and want to pay for it again. But it was really well done, and there's some interactive stuff. Like, if you have little kids, they can go
Mm,
on like tiny rides or like simulations from the movie and stuff. So that was really cool.
that is neat.
Yes.
All right, what
um
else?
some other things that we shopped at Primark way too much.
Yeah.
That's like the number one store. It's like Forever 21 or H&M, but better quality and cheaper and mostly clothes. So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff from there. And it's like pretty cold and rainy because we went in October. So I did kind of actually need some different clothes. So part of it was like necessity, but some of it was just for fun. And then we did a double-decker bus tour. You have
Oh
to.
yeah.
We sat on top, even though it was like cold enough for it to snow. And we were like, it doesn't matter. We have to get our pictures and everything. So we went to the British Museum. I saw the Rosetta Stone, which is really cool, and some like Egyptian artifacts, Roman sculptures. There's like so much stuff to see there. You could spend a week just doing the British Museum if you're like a huge history buff. What else? We did a Sherlock Holmes walk and also a museum. So the walk is just like, I found it on Pinterest. So you just walk like
Yeah.
on your own to these places between like the books, the BBC show, and then a couple movies. There's a lot of different like things that you can do. And that was cool. The museum was super small, but I mean, it's something to do, and it was a different part of London, so it was fun to do that.
Mhm.
And then Thursday and Friday, Debbie left, and so I had a couple days to myself. I went to King's Cross, which is a bus station, train station, and in Harry Potter, that is where the kids get on the train to go to what's the
Hogwarts.
school? Yep, to go to Hogwarts.
Only the
Um,
most iconic school
yeah,
in fiction
in the
history.
world. Yes. So they have replicated the platform 9 3/4, like where it would be. And there's a souvenir shop and like stuff in there. I went to every licensed Harry Potter store in London because they're all different. They're all like decorated different. They have different things for sale, and like it's just looks cool. And then
Yeah,
I went to the National Gallery where they have a bunch of famous paintings that we had talked about in art class in high school. So I actually like knew it was like Van Gogh, Monet, Degas, like all those people. And that was great. And then I had some Mexican food and walked through the park. And then that was pretty much it.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking back on now my trip and remembering stuff when I went to London, not the trip I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about right now. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. We didn't do the like British History Museum, but that would be
Yeah,
fun too.
there's a lot of stuff, and it's not necessarily just like British history. It's just a bunch of
Right.
like artifacts that they've collected. But it's, I think, one of the biggest collections in the world of all this stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, there's definitely like no shortage of stuff to do in London, right?
Yeah, I would go
Uh
back many times.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, well my talking is going to be less organized than yours, but who's surprised? So my last trip was to Morocco. I went with three friends, two from Kazakhstan, Mackie and Beverly, and then one of my friends from high school met us. Anna met us there. So yeah, we got the whole squad. The whole squad was there. Um, yeah. The main part of the trip, it was exhausting. Um, the main part of the trip, we were doing like 4 days as like a tour. Um, with the main goal of going to the Sahara Desert, right? But it's a desert, right? So it's not just like in the middle of the city, duh. So you have to like go quite far. But we went everywhere. We went to Fez, Casablanca, Marrakesh. We went everywhere. Um, so some vacations, right? Which I think we talked about last time we were live. It's good to have that like beach vacay or a vacation where you actually relax. This was not at all that. This was like,
Go, go,
let's
go.
go, let's
Yeah.
go, let's go. So on the main part uh of the trip, we saw there's like it's like a village town, I guess, made out of clay. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they've shot like some movies there. I think some of Game of Thrones was shot there or something. But that's really cool. We saw a lot of like beautiful like canyons and gorges and stuff along our way. Um through whatever to get to the desert. Of course, the main highlight is the desert, right? So that was like one of the coolest things I probably have done in like any of my travels. Um, we ended up literally like sleeping in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Like so like who gets to do that? And we rode camels in which I'm like an anxious person. So and I'm not a small human. So me like getting on this camel kind of stressed me out a little bit. And like the guy would like put me in front. So my camel is the lead camel and I'm like, where are we going? Like help me. Um, and one of the camels, when we were trying to leave the desert the next day, like after staying over, like the camels were literally like groaning, trying to like lift us up, or like they just didn't even want to try to lift us up. They were like over it. So he had to go get different camels to take us. So again, it was like it's very cool to ride a camel. I highly recommend. And now like I've ridden camels in Kazakhstan, in Egypt, and in Morocco. So like I don't know, I recommend it, but it was like I think rightfully so giving me anxiety when the animal is
Yeah.
like clearly like in pain and like over it.
Yeah.
So that was a little stressful. But sleeping in the desert. So this is a whole story too. Like we weren't trying to be like bougie or whatever, but like the camp where we were staying, there's like they put a bunch of camps by each other for safety, right? Because we're in the middle of nowhere. There's like no cell service. So the camp where we were staying, literally every single person other than our group there was like in one party together, and they were from
Mm,
like another country, and like the people there were not like talking to us or like welcoming us or anything. So we were super confused, and we like for a while thought we were at the wrong camp.
mm.
It was a whole ordeal. And then with we were trying to use like the people there's phones to call our tour guide who was staying in the city. Ugh. But we got to watch the sun set in the Sahara Desert. That was very
Nice.
cool. We parked our camels, just backed them up, and
As one
as one
does.
does, and just like laid in the sand dunes and like watched the sun go down. Um, then we got to our camp, like I said, and we had a lot of confusion. Um,
Mhm.
and but then too, you get like again, we just like laid in the dunes and like looked up at the stars, and like I like going up north in Minnesota away from the city and looking at the stars, right? How many more stars there are, etc. But like
Yeah.
multiply that by like I don't know, 100. Like I was shook. Like almost every like piece of the sky had a star. It was
Mhm.
crazy. Um so again,
Cool.
like I said, that's like one of the coolest things I've ever done. And as I travel, you get those moments where you're like, I'm just like laying in the Sahara Desert looking at the stars, and I'm like, what the heck? Like this is my life. Like who gets to do this?
Yeah.
My gosh. So that was definitely the like number one highlight. We also did some markets, and we went in, what are they called there? The places of worship there. I I don't want to
Moss
say I don't want to say the wrong. Yeah, I think they're mosques. I think you're right. Thank you. So we went in no,
temple?
no, it's definitely not temple. Oh my
Is
gosh.
it?
I feel so dumb right now. But anyway, so we did some of that. And we went through some like markets and stuff. Um, and another story. So we went to the market, right? And we're trying to get back, and us being like dumb people who just assume the best in everybody. Like some guy was like, "Oh, where are you staying? Like, I'll walk you back." And he looks like he's like a vendor, right? Or something. So we're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool." And so like he like led us some weird way through some
No.
small alleys and stuff. And Beverly and I were taking a grad class, and we just read a book about um like human trafficking, and well, that was
Uh-huh.
part of it for like so
Yeah.
her and I are now like hyper aware,
Oh
right?
no.
So like
Yeah.
the guy was speeding through, and like I said, purposely we were very close to our hotel.
Yeah.
He was just winding us around to make it seem like he was doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
He in the end wanted money, like he didn't really
Yeah.
care. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Beverly and I are now like hyper aware, and we're like, what if we what if this is like this is I don't know, like a scheme to like get us or whatever. But
Mhm.
we let him like get kind of ahead of us and we like stayed back from him. Um and like we kind of walked away from him a little bit and immediately when we got to our place we went inside and I mean of course he was trying to like harass us to get money and
Yeah,
but the thank goodness the hotel dude that was inside came out and like yelled at him and like told him to get away.
yeah,
um
I get
anyway, side story. So like you have the like really cool, amazing
it.
sitting under the stars in the Sahara Desert moments, and you also have some of those other moments. But honestly, like not that I want to get kidnapped. Like I don't want
Yeah,
to, but
yeah,
it's like I miss like all of it. You know,
yeah,
like the really cool stuff, and then the other things that turn into stories too. Um, yeah,
yeah,
and like
that's
the bazaars and markets there are super super cool. Um, but, like, also too, like, thinking about some of that stuff now, it's like, would I walk through that tiny little corridor through the market crowded with people now? It's crazy. Like, the whole world is different, right?
yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. I got a poof, um, a poof thing and some art and stuff. Yeah. And I just love markets and going to markets and places of worship like everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh
Morocco is one of my top places that I'd like to go next, like whenever that is.
Yeah, I it was definitely really, really cool for sure.
Yeah, Morocco and Korea. The more that I'm talking to my Korean students and like eating Korean food here, even though I'm not in Korea, I'm like, oh, I bet I would love it so much more than I like China just because their culture is like a little bit more what I'm used to. And their food is great. Like I like the flavors and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not literally in China right now, but I feel like they're starting to get more westernized, right? But definitely like
Yeah,
Korea and Japan are more um what is it called? Like customs wise, culture wise,
yeah,
more similar to the US
yeah.
for sure.
Compared to China.
And generally too, they're probably even more respectful, especially Japan, but like Korea too. They're like more respectful culture and
Yeah,
everything's cleaner than China
yeah.
too. Yeah.
This city is actually pretty clean, so I haven't had any problems with
Uh
that. But I can imagine Beijing or one of those bigger cities,
yeah,
and I don't even leave my neighborhood hardly ever. So I'm sure if I go like what 2 metro stops away, I would see different stuff. So
right, right. Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions before we start to wrap up, please throw them up about anything that we talked about today. Have at it. Yeah, because I think that's about it. I don't have anything else really about Morocco. Uh, like I said, just the desert. That was the best.
yeah, hoping to see travel back soon, like if it's safe and see what vaccines change for travel. I don't know. It could be quickly back to that, even, whether or not it's safe. I feel like definitely people are trying to make money again. So who
Yeah.
knows what'll happen.
I mean, I'm cool and ready for things to start off. I will still, I mean, when I start traveling farther again, not just within Panama, I definitely will still like wear a mask for a while and all that stuff. Uh, but yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully, vaccines are like here and starting to be distributed in Panama. So hopefully, I think they were saying by May, we would get it. So I hope so. I hope that works out.
Yep. I don't have any news on kind of stuff for that yet. So I don't know what'll happen. I'm sure I will know as soon as I know.
Right. All right. Well, um,
Let's do it. Thank you everyone for listening. And I see we have 2 viewers, so thank you so much. we're going to keep it at the same time for the foreseeable future. So if you are logging on later, just make a note if you want to catch us live.
Yeah, it's not gonna be every week, probably like every 2 or like every other week, every 3 weeks, something like that. Because I actually have a trip. Well, a trip. I'm going on spring break, and my parents will be here. And I'm going to the beach, another beach. I know, my spoiled life.
Never.
So yeah. It'll probably be a couple weeks again until we're live. But yeah, this is the day. This is the time. Yes. If you have questions or suggestions for us, like during the live stream, like I mentioned, post in the comments or in the chat box, whatever. But also the Instagram page and YouTube comments are great. I'm trying to get back into posting more regularly on the Instagram page, but it's been a wild few weeks, y'all.
Yeah.
With seeing kids and everything.
Yes, we will be, whenever that is, posting extra clips, pictures, reminders about the episodes, and hopefully letting you guys know information about the live,
Sorry.
since that will be every week.
I took your words, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, it's fine. I'm reiterating.
Alrighty, right.
I'm sorry. Thanks for listening from wherever in the world you are.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.